What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the Fringe. We need to talk Alberta prosperity for a moment, and we need to talk about a major announcement coming out that's going to pave the way. I think this is going to be the final nail when it comes to Alberta prosperity moving forward. I've always said it's always about the dollars at the end of the day, the money. I think when you have people who are sitting on the fence deciding whether or not they want to vote for an independent Alberta, what they're going to save or what they stand to gain definitely shifts the status quo. And one of the things we've always talked about here on the channel was a certain document that was being prepared by Alberta Prosperity on actual figures used by the federal government as well as the provincial government to determine exactly based on those figures what Albertans would save moving forward if they voted in favor of leaving Canada. Now, these aren't just pie in the sky numbers. Again, these are taken from actual federal documents that are available online. It was also taken from provincial reportings that were taken online as well, so that accountants, lawyers, you name it, could go through, find what they've dubbed the value of freedom. This is a draft fully costed fiscal plan for an independent Alberta. Now, the reason I say that this is the nail in the coffin when it comes to Alberta prosperity, in fact, as I met folks in Mirror Alberta on Alberta Day or Canada Day, we were talking a lot about this bill coming out. And I said to people, this really sends the message home for the question about leaving Alberta, because essentially I would ask anybody, if I were to light $500 and put on the ground and walk away, if I were to light it on fire, would you put it out? Who's going to say no to not picking up $100 and walking away a little bit richer? So the question derives, why would you keep giving your money to the government for them to do so when we could have prosperity? Of course, Jeffrey Rath putting out that as of this morning, he will be speaking in Airdrie this morning, July 3rd, Staveley, July 5th. Want to hear how much wealthier you're going to be once Alberta declares its independence from Ottawa? Please come out. Now, one of the things I like about APP, and again, I'm going to have Jeff on the channel in the very near future to talk about this a little bit further. I talked to Jeff on the regular. It's that they don't want to govern. They're not a political party. They're not interested in taking over once Alberta claims its independence. They just want to get Alberta to a vote. I had many people asking me on Canada Day, who do I support? Who do I stand behind? Because there's many factions. There's an Alberta independence faction. There's the Alberta Prosperity Project. There's the Republican Party of Alberta and Cam Davies, and people saying, I don't know where to go. I'm confused. And I keep telling people, the people who don't want to be government are the ones that I would recommend following, because all they're worried about is Alberta's independence moving forward. That's why I try to promote Alberta Prosperity Project as much as possible. I think that's where your time is better spent. Now, I can say that as I head over to my emails, I actually have this document. I was given it for a sneak peek. For anybody who says, oh, BS, you just had a picture of the page. I do have said document here. Now, I'm not going to go through it here and spoil it for everybody. But again, I will say that I believe that what you're going to find when this document is shared, that the numbers are staggering, folks. I can tell you right now, I went over it with Mrs. Fringe. We talked about the numbers. We talked about the figures. We talked about everything Alberta would have to gain in terms of the billions of dollars they would see coming in. And we were both gobsmacked to say, I don't understand why anybody at this point in time would turn around and say, yeah, I'd rather stay with the federal government and I'd rather keep giving them our money. It's all gains here, folks. Take a look at the comments. Not a commonwealth, not a sovereign, independent, away from the crown and the federal government. There is zero freedom without responsibility. If weak women and men and minorities want more freedom, take on more responsibility. I wish I had realized that earlier in life. Where and what time, people are asking. It's about more than money. People saying, I love seeing your followers keep climbing. People saying Commonwealth, no dice, and independent Alberta. Like it's just a statement of fact here, folks. This is what they're talking about just to gain. They're not labeling it anything. They got to have a label for the document. You're late to the party. You got beat at your game. The early approval of Thomas Thomas's petition put you in checkmate. So they're talking about Thomas Lakaczuk's petition. I want to clear that up because we talked about that in another video. Thomas Lakaczuk put forward a petition to essentially ask the same question of should Alberta remain a part of the country, to essentially topple what Alberta Prosperity Project is doing. Thomas isn't going to get his signatures because he filed this petition before Danielle Smith lowered her threshold, meaning that he needs to garner over 600,000 signatures. And if he gets them, if an astounding group of people were to say, do you want to stay in Canada? And they said no, well, that's essentially a vote to leave as well. So he's kind of hooped himself regardless. So anybody worried about Thomas Lakaczuk's petition, throw that right out the window. It's not going anywhere. It says, I hope you're getting rid of property taxes. It's straight theft from every property owner. Again, I can't spoil what's in the document, but I would definitely say something like this could be on the table, at least down the road, once bills are paid. The announcement of this document, I think, is crucial, again, moving forward. I look forward to hearing what Alberta Prosperity Project has to say later today. Again, I wanted to get this video out so people know today's the day. It is coming out. It has been amended. And again, we will be talking about it very soon. I've reached out to Alberta Prosperity Project to ensure and ask about whether or not this document will be available for people to distribute to those who are interested, to those that they wish to talk about Alberta independence with, like family, friends. I haven't heard back yet, but believe me, I will be pushing to make sure that this document is readily available for people to download, for people to look at. We'll have Jeff Rath on the channel to talk about Alberta's future and what this means for possibly increasing the numbers to get to a yes vote on Alberta leaving Canada. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you think down below. Do you think that this document is the silver bullet that Alberta needs to get people on board when it comes to Alberta prosperity? Or do you think it's going to take a little bit more to push people to that point that they're ready to say, okay, maybe it makes sense for me to put yes on a ballot for leaving? Let me know your thoughts down below. And if it's your first time here, again, I hope this video has earned your subscription. I hope as you click that button, you click your bell for notifications so that you never miss a beat whenever anything drops here on this channel. Join me live each and every Friday night for Friday Night Fringe, my weekly live streaming show, where I'm joined by the beautiful Mrs. Fringe as we go back and forth with everything that happened this week in Canadian politics, everything we know coming up in the week ahead, as well as your Q&A outside of making these videos within the greatest community on the YouTube platform. I look forward to chatting with you guys each and every Friday night. I most importantly look forward to chatting with you this Friday night, starting at 6 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Central, here on the channel. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll catch you on the next one.